Let's start with the Orange Bowl. Coming up on Thursday night, Notre Dame, Penn State. Notre Dame is laying a 1.5. The Irish are minus 125 on the money line. Penn State is plus 105. Your total is set at 46 and a hook, and this total has dropped 4 points, opened at 50 and a hook. My initial lean would be the under, but then I didn't jump on this number immediately. I'm like, 4 points. These two defenses are really solid. Penn State would like to run the ball with Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, and then the Irish want to do the same with their backfield. Love and Jadarian Price and Riley Leonard can get out of the pocket as well. But before we get our particular handicaps here, he's going to come on live. We're on X. We got to bring him in, and he's wearing his Falcon sweatshirt, which is really ballsy, I have to say. Double D, how are you feeling about your Penn State Nittany Lions? Forget about covering. You might as well just choose a money line bet here, right?
Yeah, I'd go money line here. Whichever way you're going to go, choose your favorite here. For me, it comes down to whether or not they can stop the running attack of Notre Dame, and that defense proved versus Genty that they could stop an elite running back, but this is a different animal, a different offensive line. So it's going to come down, for me at least, to whether or not they stop the run game, because I don't think Riley Leonard is as good a passer as everybody wants to put on him. And I think that was shown in the Georgia game where he had, 80 yards passing or something like that. But they didn't need to. They were running all over Georgia. And, yeah, I think the big X factor, and it's been that way all season, can Notre Dame contain Tyler Warren? If Tyler Warren starts to feed, it's going to be a long, long night for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I lean Penn State here. Am I super confident in it? Of course. We are Penn State. Let's go, boys!
Take it from the guy wearing a Falcon sweatshirt right now. Hey, listen, you rep your teams. I got a lot of respect for that. Good luck to your Nittany Lions. Chelsea, what do you think here? I feel like that I've been talking your ear off about all these games because I was so excited. But what's going to happen in this one?
I think I'm going to lean towards either a full game under or a first half under. I think that's going to be the way to go. So first half total in this one set at 22.5. Both these teams want to run the football, like you said. And I think both of these defenses are pretty solid. Tyler Warren obviously is going to be the X factor for Penn State, but I will say Notre Dame, their secondary has been really good throughout the season, and a team that's been better than the market expected, which is crazy to say about a Notre Dame program that is one of those blue chip programs. Notre Dame 10-0 against the spread in their last 10 games. Absolutely crazy, but we're not talking about like a big spread in this one. So obviously they need to win the game, win by a couple of points. But I think I'll go first half. There's a bit of a layoff. I think both these defenses are the units that I want to trust here. And like we said, both these teams want to run the football. I think most of the adjustments come in the second half. So first half, under 22.5, I think is the play for me.
I'm also very curious about the coaching matchup in this game. I feel like Marcus Freeman outcoached Kirby Smart when Notre Dame faced Georgia. I really do. And I would almost always give the advantage to Kirby Smart, but it was really impressive what we saw from Marcus Freeman. He was totally prepared for Georgia and everything that they brought in that game. And that was you rarely see a game where Georgia, I don't want to say was dominated, but was controlled for the majority of the game. And that's really what Notre Dame did, especially when they had, 17 points in 54 seconds, something wild like that, into the first half, early second half. So Marcus Freeman versus James Franklin is very interesting. And I think James Franklin, he needs this dub for his reputation. And I know that it's been talked about again and again and again, and credit to Penn State for getting here. But if we're being honest, beating SMU, beating Boise State, again, you got it done. That's great. But it's a lot different now that you're here in a big game. And we know James Franklin has had problems in big games. Now, this would be massive, not just for Penn State to get to the national championship game, but for James Franklin to beat Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl in a spot like this.
Yeah, because the read on James Franklin has been, okay, if he's favored, even if it's a big game, these are numbers he usually covers. And we saw it so far in the college football playoff. But the problem comes when he's an underdog. James Franklin has
Yeah.
not been good in this spot. He has not been good against like top 5 teams in the AP poll. Going into the Big Ten championship game, ATS, since James Franklin came to Penn State, 8-17-1 as underdogs. Those are not good numbers and not really a
Yeah.
team that from that standpoint you'd want it back. But again, like this is a short spread. So I'm not sure, if you give that so much run. I think more of it's about
Hmm.
the players on the field. And it's less to do with James Franklin. It's like, oh, can he win the big one? Well, maybe the other team's just better. I think this is
Yeah.
pretty much, a mark where both teams are really talented on both sides of the ball. Can they stop Riley Leonard? That's going to be the question. And can the other side, can you stop Tyler Warren? Again, I think the best play is a total in this one. I'm not sure on a side, so I'm not going to pick one.
Well, maybe you have a better feeling about Ohio State and Texas. Friday night. It's the Cotton Bowl. You know what? I just decided. The lovely Catherine and I, we're going to go to the Texas watch party. And if we lose, we lose. Whatever. Ohio State is laying 6.5. Ohio State is minus 250 on the money line. Texas is plus 200. Your total is 53.5. This number opened Ohio State around minus 4.5, 5, wherever you shop, and was immediately bet up to 6.5. And I feel like now that I feel good about Texas covering this number, if only for the fact that A, this is going to be the best defense that Ohio State has played all season long without question, and B, Vegas is going to need Texas in a big way, because I've heard a couple people on this network say, okay, Texas is the call, Texas is the call. But on the whole, Chelsea, I feel like everyone I've heard, and especially the public, is going to be all over Ohio State. And maybe it's the right side. Of all the teams right now, the Buckeyes look better than anyone. There's no question about that. They're even money to win the national title, plus 100. However, I feel like 6.5 with a week to prepare, even though I know the Bucks are playing their best football of the season, is too many points. I am going to be on the horns.
I think this is the toughest part of betting on sports is because you can't be too overreactionary to a small stretch. And I think people are seeing that last game and the game before for Ohio State and saying, okay, this is a team that can't be stopped. I think the level of competition now that we get to the semifinal is going to be a little tighter. And I understand the spread is still sitting at 6 over at BetMGM. And if you're into fading the public, you would be on Texas here because 77% of the money right now over at BetMGM is on Ohio State. So a lot of people are buying into the hype of the Buckeyes, that offense, and what we've seen with some of their star receivers. So here's the matchup that's going to be really interesting. When you have somebody like Jeremiah Smith and you have a defense like Texas, though, because here's the thing. If there's any defense in the country that maybe can slow them down, it's going to be Texas. And here's the other thing I want to bring up. It's not like Texas doesn't have their own playmakers on their offense. Guys like Matthew Golden, who were huge in that last game against Arizona State. So as far as dudes go, I don't think there's that big of a divide between the talent on Texas and the talent on Ohio State.